You can't force someone to change their life. They're like, I want to do what you're doing. It's like, well, how bad do you want that?
Dr. Donovan Smolich is a dedicated chiropractor based in Los Angeles, California, with patients all over the world. Known for his commitment to holistic wellness, Donovan has built a thriving practice. He's also an avid breakdancer and athlete, often sharing his journey on social media, where he gains significant attention for his positive energy and inspirational content. Welcome to the Iron Mind Podcast. Join me, Josh Brumley, as we explore the minds of those who've forged their paths through legal battles, business triumphs, and creative conquests. We uncover the stories behind their iron wills and innovative minds. Get ready for thought-provoking conversations, practical insights, and actionable advice. This is the Iron Mind Podcast. Hi, Donovan. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your early life and how you got started in chiropractic care.
Thanks for having me. So I discovered chiropractic basically when I was a kid. I was breakdancing, and I was breakdancing a lot that I jumped into a handstand, and my body was so worn out, I actually bent my spine in half, and
Whoa.
I paralyzed myself. And so I was shaking on the floor. This is like when I was like 13 or 14. And I was on the floor from midnight till 10 a.m. until my dad found me. And then he carried me to his friend who was a chiropractor. And he goes, do something to him. And it was like a private visit. And I got my neck adjusted and I was able to walk again. And I didn't even know what he was doing to me the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there like almost my whole life, basically. And eventually I wanted to help people. So I was like doing training. I was teaching people how to dance and all this crazy stuff. And I naturally wanted to help people, but I didn't have any qualifications to do that. And my chiropractor told me, he's like, you know what would make more of an impact? If you did chiropractic and I like crack people. I was like, how does that help? Even though it made me walk again, I didn't really think about it at the time.
Yeah.
And so I used to deny it. And eventually I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And then when I got into chiropractic, he taught me that actually healed your body. It stimulated your brain, your vagus nerve, and it healed you naturally. And I had no idea for over 10 years it did that. And so when I became a chiropractor, it changed my life. And then now I want to help everybody.
When you were sitting there on the ground, you said paralyzed from midnight till 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. till...
Yeah, I was awake the whole time. It was the worst pain of my life. I was in a guarded stance, so I couldn't really move. Like I wasn't paralyzed like a severed nerve. It was my muscle was guarding like this, and I couldn't even move. And my eyes were just open. I'm like, oh God, this is the worst pain of my life.
You couldn't make noise. You couldn't shout for help. And
I couldn't. It was just like,
wow.
I was like, I could talk like, okay, I need help.
Yeah, but no one could hear
I'm like
you.
downstairs, they're upstairs.
Oh my God. I think so. Your dad just like wandered in and was like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I've been here for 10 hours."
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing over here?" I'm like, "I'm dying."
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was a kid, so like I had no idea what was really going on. I was just like, I'm in pain right now.
And that didn't stop you from breakdancing after that?
Yeah, it doesn't. So I've injured myself so many times, like multiple concussions. I smashed my head on a brick wall, like,
oh my gosh.
And over time my body was declining. I was losing my balance. I was like, I couldn't see straight because of all these injuries. Like I didn't understand back then until I started to understand my body. Now like my brain works amazing. It's just when you keep learning how to heal yourself, you feel much better and you can function better.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So do you still breakdance now?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
I quit throughout the chiropractic program, and then when I went to LA, it's like an entertainment place. So I've been attracting all these dancers, and now I dance with I'm making the dancing again. So now I enter competitions and stuff.
That's so cool.
Way
We'll have to put
older
a
now.
clip of you breakdancing like over top of this. So breakdancing was where it started. What's it like now? Because, people that don't know who you are or how, your internet presence is kind of blown up. What was the transition? How did you get to this point of like being such a popular chiropractor?
So before I got big online, I started, what gave me the mindset was starting from like being homeless from a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Like while I was in school. And that mindset it told me that, okay, I don't want to feel like this ever again. I need to make as big of an impact as possible so I can make everything I want come true. Because I didn't have any expectations into getting to become a chiropractor. I just wanted to be one. I didn't want to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I felt that feeling of not having anything, and I was like living in a car or wherever I was in a hole. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That was only for an hour, but
Wow.
that give me the mindset that I need to change my life and I need to get the life that I want. And then that's what gave me the mindset to get a bigger presence. So I started off by talking to people in the community, building communities in the Bay Area where I was at. And then later I was like, oh, social media, I know it's like important. So I need to get on that. So I started teaching myself like different strategies to get my name out there on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was one by one, like one person at a time. And then after that, I started blowing up from it's kind of a process. I don't know if you want to hear the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I think for the chiropractors that are listening to this,
Yeah.
like if they can find a way to channel what you've done for
Yeah.
themselves, it's a game changer, right? So
Yeah.
like how can a chiropractor or maybe any business
Yeah.
professional take your methodology and apply it to whatever their trade or profession is?
So first off, it was a mindset, but if anyone wants to get their name out there online, the concept is it's consistency, but you also have to think if you don't post the next day, they're going to forget about you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the concept of posting every day is so important, because the whole concept is you want to be in everyone's mind every single day. So you have to post yourself every day because they're going to be like, wow, I love what you're doing. The next day they forget about you.
Right.
So if you're the only person who is online every single day showing yourself, everyone's going to think about you every day. So if you go to your family party, they're like, I only see you on my Facebook page or my Instagram page.
Yeah.
So they're only going to think about you every single day. And then that's how you're going to get your name out there. Just like talking to people every day in real life, the old school way, like, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? It's like, how do you know everyone in the community? It's like, I'm the only one introducing myself.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's a consistent social media presence with your face specifically or
Yeah.
your trade specifically. Like, does it have to be someone's face? What if they're uncomfortable?
You don't have to have your face on there. You can have your hands or your product.
Yeah.
It's just a face is easier because there's a connection with the person.
Right.
So they're like, oh my God, I love what this person is doing, but I also connect with this person who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's easier to have a face. But if you want to build a business on a product or your hands, you can. It's just you gotta just be consistent with that. But having a face is so much easier.
And
because
everyone has one.
Yeah, everyone has a face. Use your face. Like, you don't want to see this.
Yeah. How important in all of that, like viral content or like consistency, how important is mindset for that?
It's actually pretty important because I taught this so many times, and it just takes the person who has that mindset to really do it. It just is like, how bad do you want it? That's the question you have to ask them. Like, I want it kind of bad. Like, well, you're not going to make it because you don't want it that bad, actually.
Right. You have to be hungry.
Yeah. So when you have that mindset to do this, you're consistent. You never miss a day. It's like working out in the gym. You never miss a day. And that's why that person gets results. Or you want to get good at something, you go almost every day. So it's the same thing with online. If you want it bad, you'll post every single day. So that's the mindset, like the discipline.
Right.
Because you'll have no motivation. No one's even going to like your post. They're like, not even one comment. It's like, I don't even think this is even going to work.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter as long as you have basically the secret is don't care about any engagement. Just keep posting because you know it's just you're going to blow up eventually compared to not doing it at all.
And so the mindset and the like forward thinking of this is the goal I want to be at. This is how someone else did it. I just have to follow these steps.
Yeah, because everyone will give you the same answer. If someone's very passionate, they'll give you the exact same answer. Like, it's consistency.
Yeah.
They're like, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. And when you keep posting, you get better at the post. Like,
you understand more.
Yeah,
You'll like any muscle, you're training yourself to understand what's working, what's not, and you can pivot and do things differently that maybe more people will engage with, or more people will think are funny, or attractive for a chiropractic video. Something that gets people's attention. But you have to do it and then fall down a couple of times.
Yeah, because the videos will evolve, actually. Like, if you want your hair over there and you're like, when you put it over here, like, oh my God, I went viral. I was like, that's all I had to do?
That's all I had to do was part my hair on the other side? I'm like, why didn't you tell me years ago?
Yeah, so you discover that as you make the videos, like, you tweak one thing, like, that was the secret. Because I've reposted the same videos over and over, and I tweak it, and it goes viral. Yeah. Just from the small tweak. Yeah.
How do you feel about the idea that you can't teach someone to be hungry?
The idea about can't teach someone to be hungry. I mean, I agree with that because I've taught it so many times, and a small percentage of people will
resonates with only the small percentage.
Yeah, because you can't force someone to change their life. They're like, I want to do what you're doing. It's like, well, how bad do you want that?
Yeah.
So eventually, like with me, I only will help you if you are hungry for it. Because if you're not, like, you have to discover it yourself, because you can't change who they are.
Right.
Yeah. And when they're ready, they're ready.
And why would I waste my time teaching you all of this stuff if it's not going to resonate with you the way that it would to the next person? So I'm going to spend my time mentoring that next person to say, hey, I see myself in you. You're the next level of like, that's how hungry I was when I was living in a car or whatever you were doing. Do you think that that kind of adversity creates that hunger, or people are just born with it? Or
some people could be born with it, but some people can develop it depending on the circumstance in their life. Like, that would activate that. Like, me living in a car was the catalyst to making me even more consistent with everything I do. Like, I was consistent at like breakdancing, but I wasn't consistent as in terms of changing my brain. I was more into physical stuff back then. Now I'm all about developing my brain and learning everything almost.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like that until like I was pushed to the limit. And I was like,
I wonder how many people I've had on this podcast that have lived in a car, because honestly, like, I've lived in a car, you've lived in a car. It seems to be that like a lot of people who are really successful had to like lose the safety net and fall.
Yeah.
And think, okay, I don't have just this regular 9-to-5 job anymore and like a parent's house I can live in. I don't have anything. How am I going to get out of this? And that's what changes how you think to be this aggressive business person, or this aggressive need for success or desire for success, that you're like, I'll stop at nothing. If that means I have to post every day or be in the gym every day or whatever my trade is to be the best at it. But it takes like, to me, it takes that level of adversity and losing that safety net. And so many people have that safety net of a job that they maybe don't love, but they go every day and it pays the bills. So they're not willing to take that risk to do the next big thing that maybe would bring them all the joy in the world that you and I have from doing what we're passionate about. But they just maybe will never take that step.
Yeah, let's make a program where we have a empty car and you get to
you get to borrow this empty car. You get evicted from your house. You live in the car for a week, and then we'll see if you're a business person after that.
Yeah, it's like, you have to pay us to live in this car. It's part of the program.
That's part of the program, and it's got to be a really bad car. It can't be comfortable. No, that's. You mentioned celebrity chiropractic. I have a buddy here who is really excited about potentially getting adjusted on camera, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Bring in Marcus Trufant, former Seahawk. Come on in, buddy.
Come on in, buddy. Wow. Hey, what's going on?
All right. So take it away, doctor. Just give him a couple cracks.
Let's get him cracked out. Okay, what's going on? He got tackled a few times?
Tackled several times, and I've had some real injuries, man. I had some bulging disc, fractured transverse process. Those are guys that go out to the side, right?
Yeah.
I know you know better than I do, but I struggle on a daily.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Where are those ones, down here?
Yeah, so those are pretty low.
Oh, they're pretty low? Okay,
yep.
Got it. All right, we're going to go high.
Okay.
Let's see. What's going on with this guy's neck? Okay, let's have you take a seat. Take my spot. All right.
You didn't expect this
No,
kind
I
of free
didn't.
healthcare here. That's the
We
treatment
got
we
the
give.
mic. I'm just kidding.
This is the free
Yeah.
free Brumley Law Firm treatment you get.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of emotions. Like a sunset. Okay, we're gonna get you adjusted. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're gonna just right here. Okay, you're just gonna drop your head and then drop the shoulder. Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh. All right. Okay.
How was that? We got
that was
one
good.
more.
That was good.
Okay. Okay, we gotta adjust his skull. I think someone ran into your head. one
Something
day?
like that.
Okay. So we're gonna have you turn your head this way. Okay, I'm gonna get my tippy toes. All right. We're gonna have you lean all the way back, and I'm gonna have you drop over here. Okay, drop your head. Okay. I got you, don't worry. I'm gonna have to go like this. Okay, drop your head all the way. Don't worry, I saw this in a movie. Okay, here we go. There you are.
I trust you. I trust you. See, that's 100% trust right there.
Trust me, we just met a
Yeah.
second ago.
I appreciate that, man. That's good.
There you go. How you feel?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
You're cured. You're cured. That's
You're
the Brumley
cured.
Law Firm guarantee.
Yes.
He was cross-eyed before he came in here.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. I didn't think it was like that coming in here,
That-
man.
that's
Yeah.
how we roll, man.
That's how it works.
Full
huh?
service.
Yeah.
Full
Love
service.
it.
Everybody
Love it.
wins. Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to adjust Marcus. I would have done it, but Marcus has been more injured than I'll ever be in my entire life, I'm sure.
Of
So
course.
he deserved it. He deserved
He
it.
did deserve it. Good energy.
Good.
Appreciate it, bro.
That's part of the program. So you've done a lot of like celebrity famous adjustments. Can you talk a little bit about that? Are those secrets? Like, tell us some of the people that are kind of viral sensations that you've
Yeah.
adjusted.
I know it's kind of a list.
That's such a cool thing to say, right?
Well, it's like, because like there's all these famous people because of social media, but they're in communities. So it's just like you would only know they're famous if you're a fan.
of that community.
Yeah, like,
But
'cause,
that's still really cool.
yeah, because I work on, like, it could be famous YouTubers, it could be famous actors, and it could be from different countries, and they're like millions
Princes.
famous. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I have worked on Prince.
That's really insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, do you feel like name dropping? Is that something that you're like, I'd rather not?
I would name drop, but I don't know how they would feel about
Okay,
that.
okay, we'll leave that out of it.
But
We'll leave
like,
that out
if
of
you look at my content, you can recognize a lot of these famous people, because a lot of podcasts want me to name drop, but I'd rather have everyone just look through my content and just see if they recognize.
They got to go look. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about your content.
Look.
how can people follow you on Instagram, TikTok? What's your following like right now?
So my Instagram is Dr. Donovan Smolich, and then YouTube and TikTok is Dr. Donovan. My Instagram, it's 371,000 followers right now, and then my TikTok is like 500,000, and my YouTube's over 100,000 subscribers. And I mean, the following's pretty good. It helps you reach out to a lot of people you wouldn't expect to meet, or you get invited to a lot of interesting things.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of chiropractors feel really tied down to be at their practice, trying to market within like 3 miles of their physical location. But you've made a very exciting career out of being a traveling chiropractor that can go
Yeah.
anywhere in the world and help people. Can you tell us about how you started that? Like, were you ever in a physical location and then transitioned to be just like, I'm just going to bring these hands anywhere?
Yeah, it started when I first opened up my office, and I started in a kid's room, and it was very unprofessional, but the service I gave blew the first few patients' minds that they would refer like crazy. So everybody would line up at this little kids room, and I was like the ghetto chiropractor back then. I was like,
There's
"Should I
so
do my
many
hands?"
chiropractors I know are like, man, you should see the first place I started. The first place I started
Yeah.
too, my law firm, it was not pretty.
Yeah,
It takes a while though. You got to start with the
Yeah.
service. Okay.
I like it when you start in a piece of garbage almost, because
Yeah.
like you don't have any expectations, and then
Yeah.
people are like, love the spot.
Yeah.
and then I upgraded to a corner of a tax office. That was the beginning of people flying to me. So I was working in a corner. It was like really small. It's like this area I'm in right now.
Yeah.
And then there's like people lining up to go to the tax office. And then eventually, I didn't have a big following either, but people would say, I'm willing to fly to you. I'm like, I don't, because this is pretty ghetto over here. And then they would fly to me anyway. And then I was like, wow, that was like on one of my impossible goal lists. I have an impossible goal list. Like, I wrote the most impossible things. Like, people are going to fly to me. And then people started flying to the tax office. And then that kind of built my mindset to adjust everywhere. So I would bring my table all over Seattle, and I would do house parties, the club. I would I would travel to different places, and I would get invited to fly to LA. Like, people would pay for my flight, and I'd fly there. And then I would get an Airbnb, and I would adjust everybody in there. So it was evolving what I thought I could adjust. So basically I could adjust everywhere. That's how it started. Like, people would invite me, and then I'll be like, I should take this chance. And then I got better at it. Yeah.
Wow. Tell us more about your impossible goal list. Like, what's on there now? What used to be on there that you said this is an impossible goal and then have achieved?
So I developed this journal, this composite notebook back then. Now I have these leather ones, but because I'm so proud of them.
Upgraded.
Yeah, upgrade. And I wrote it when I was sitting in the Miata. It was like this worn out Miata. It was a 2-seater
that you were living in?
Yeah, I was living in a Miata.
Okay. Wow.
Like, you go to sleep and you're like, you don't even lean back.
Yeah, you can't move. Yeah.
You don't move.
The smallest car.
Yeah. It's a clown car. And I was talking to myself. I'm like, tears going down my eyes, like, oh, I got to change my life. And so I just talked to myself, because I didn't talk to anybody at all for like almost a year, because like everyone thought I was this crazy guy. Didn't take a shower, and I wore the same thing every day. I had a mullet. I was like, ew, who is this guy?
He lives in that Miata.
Yeah. Ugh. And the Miata's license plate said, "Hey girl" on it. They're like, this guy's
sketch.
Oh
no, hey girl
on
the license
plate. And so I developed it in that car. So I would talk to myself, and I wrote down this impossible goal list. And I didn't even know what manifesting or anything was at that time. And I write down, people around the whole world are going to fly to me, which is now happening consistently every day. And I'm going to travel to different countries. I'm going to work on celebrities and even famous YouTubers too, because I was like, that's a big deal. And I want to make an impact. Right when I get to Seattle, it's going to blow up in 3 months. And it blew up in a month. And then it happened a year earlier than I thought. So I was writing like impossible goal lists. I write even more impossible things now. They all happen very fast. So it's kind of like, is this impossible now?
That's crazy.
So
well, maybe I can help
ones.
you think of some, but we'll get to that.
So we're going to fly to space.
I just was going to say, just someone in space. Like, that's crazy. You've already thought of it. Damn it.
Yeah, we're connecting our minds like, that was the idea just now.
So what are some that are on the list now? Like, if someone's listening to this and they're like, I can help this guy achieve his impossible goal, what's one that's on the list?
So right now, I want to make an impact in different countries. Like, even though I helped out other countries, I want to do it in another way. Like, I'm half Filipino, I wanted to make an impact in the Philippines. So I wanted to travel there and create like a huge thing to help every single person in the Philippines as a service, and kind of get my name out there and just help and teach everyone about health. So right now, like, more than business goals, I'm trying to make an impact in different countries right now, because the business, I accomplished that for now right now, but now I want to travel and do more stuff like that, like help more people.
I know a little bit about your trip to an island, but why don't you tell that story?
Yeah, so a while ago, my friend developed this trip. He's like, hey, you want to go on this trip to Fiji? There's like no healthcare sucks there. And he was Fijian himself, so he had the connection. And then I was like, yeah, let's go. And it was the first mission to go to Fiji. And when we first got there, we were just adjusting people. And I didn't even know Fijians were that big. I thought they were, this short, but I got mixed up with a different ethnicity. They're actually this big.
Okay.
I was like, holy crap. And the nicest people. And when we did the first day there, people were like, oh my God, there's doctors here, but they're thinking they know how to fix everything because they didn't understand what kind of doctor. So everyone was coming with all these crazy conditions like Parkinson's disease
Oh
and
no.
every single condition. So the whole entire island was coming to us. And then we got on TV and we got to adjust the president, and then it got even bigger. So people were taking boats to just see us, at the point that a lot of the people in our group got worn out, that for the rest of the trip, it was like me, my friend, and like 3 other people. So we're just seeing all these giant people all over the island. And I couldn't even open my hand. That's how stuck. Like my hands were destroyed
Just
after
from
that.
working for like
Yeah.
12 hours a day or longer?
Yeah, the whole entire day, every
Oh
day
my
for 11 days.
Wow.
And I adjusted over 1,000 people, I counted.
Wow.
And after that trip, it became like a chiropractic country, basically. So when I went again, everyone's like, oh, the chiropractors are here, like rolling out the red carpet. I was like, oh, damn.
You're famous.
Yeah. And
That's
that was
awesome.
before I even got big online. And I was like, wow. So like, we're pretty famous with Fiji. And I was like, man, I really want to make an impact in other places too. And then eventually I got big online. And then so all these other countries are reaching out to me. They want to fly me out to Italy or Indonesia or the Philippines. And I haven't started that trip yet because like a lot of stuff's going on. But I'm trying to go to the Philippines first because I'm Filipino.
Got to do
Maybe
it.
Croatia because you don't have that. Yeah, so that's what I'm excited for right now. I'm trying to plan.
That's really cool,
Yeah.
man. That's really exciting. I wish that there was something I could do, but the bar number makes me really limited. I'm only
Yeah.
allowed to practice law in Washington. So I could probably like
Yeah.
talk about my profession other places, but the
Uh-huh.
laws are all different. I wouldn't be able to help people in
Yeah.
other countries. That's so powerful. That's so cool that you're doing that. Have you ever adjusted an animal?
An animal? I adjusted dogs.
Really?
But people are taking the next level of the draft, and that's
Whoa.
a whole nother story.
Maybe that should be on the list, right?
That's actually on my goal list.
Well, tell us what else.
Well, I'm trying because I wanna help animals too. So I'm trying to build a practice on that. But that's not gonna be this year. It's gonna be later because there's so much humans I have to work on right now. So I was planning on doing animal stuff later. So that's gonna be a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other thing.
I already manifested it. So
Do you think there's a future of you training people and bringing people with you, like having associates with you on these trips, like employees?
Yeah, I'm working on developing a team for that right now. So maybe one for the Philippines, and even for my office, I'm trying to train some people right now too. So that's in the cards right now. So I have to build a community with maybe chiropractic students as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another goal on my list too, actually. So I'm gonna start training people that get better at chiropractic as well.
If chiropractors are listening to this right now, how do they apply to go on a trip with you? How can they contact you so that they can say, hey man, I love chiropractic, you love chiropractic, let's be
Yeah.
friends and go to the Philippines?
Okay, well, hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah, no, if that's the method, they just DM you.
Yeah. Well, you guys could, if you guys did want to plan a trip, you guys could message me. You can message my assistant at Dr. Donovan at fullfunction.org. That would be the email. So I
We'll
can
put
actually
it on the podcast, Dr.
Yeah.
Donovan.
because sometimes I can't respond to everything.
No,
That'd be
no.
better.
I mean, that
It's like,
level
don't
of
message me on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. There's probably
Yeah.
all sorts of people that are just asking to, hey, can you fly? Can you fly across the country and come adjust
Yeah,
me?
it's a lot.
That's overwhelming. And so you have an assistant that helps with that stuff?
Yeah, I have 2 assistants that
That's
help
good.
me with everything. Because you need help. You need a team, basically. to
It
do
takes
a
a
lot.
team for this podcast. Even it takes a whole team
Yeah.
of people. I thought one day I was just going to start a podcast with like one of my
Yeah.
friends, and
Yeah.
now it's like there's like 7 people involved from start to finish of
Yeah.
having you here today. You
It's
know,
worth it.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
it's a really cool thing to be able to have a team of people all rowing a boat in the same direction.
Yeah.
And for the people who are listening to this who are starting their business as, you know, by themselves, how do you get people motivated to be on that team? How do you keep staff? How do you attract talent?
Yeah. I know in the beginning it was actually pretty tough
Yeah.
to attract people that were motivated to be a part of your team. I I think with me, I had to, because I even have videographers that I work with, like multiple, because you'll work with one that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And I feel like you
Props
just,
to our video guy here.
for building a team, in my opinion, it's actually pretty tough. I'm not going to lie, because I have to talk to a lot of different people and try them out. And if they don't resonate with everything I believe in,
It's not a good fit.
it's like a relationship.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, this is going to be toxic in a month.
You can kind of see it now because you've been through so many iterations of
Yeah.
employees where you're like, this person is giving all the signs, you know, and they're not
Yeah.
going to stay long term.
And another important one is, what are your goals? Like, what do you have going on? Are you going to eventually be busy in 5 months? So you kind of have to try to find someone who you think would want to be with you for a long time.
Yeah.
Rather than they're there for 3 months, like, man, you were great for 3 months. You're leaving already?
Yeah, doing their next thing.
Yeah.
You want someone who's going to be part of the family for a long
Yeah.
time. If you're going to invest that training and your
Yeah.
expertise and bring them to the table, you want them to stay for a long time.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in finding the right employees, how do you what are some things that when you're interviewing that you ask, or how do you gauge that kind of level of commitment until they're there?
Yeah. I think the most important one is asking like what they're doing right now, and then they might tell you, oh, I'm in a program for this, and I like for example, like I'm in a nursing program and I'm almost done and I'm gonna be a nurse soon. And like, well, I can't add you to the team.
Yeah,
if
you're going to
leaving.
leave to be a nurse.
Yeah.
This is obviously where your passion lies.
Yeah, so that's one of those things that are important. Even if they're great, they're not going to work out because they have this other thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they resonate with me with goals and their health, those are important to me too, because it just shows how motivated they are. Because if they're not motivated at all, it might not work out. It might be like I have to babysit them the whole entire time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So besides breakdancing and chiropractic dogs and people,
Yeah.
what is an activity you like to do to unwind after you've had a big day?
I have a self-care routine I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I literally practice self-care every day because
we talking skincare? What are we talking here?
I do everything. I have to do a routine like because I meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And when I meditate, I laser my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And these lasers, they're low-level laser therapy lasers. They go through your skull and you promote neurons, it reduces inflammation, and you can meditate with them. So you can develop your brain pretty well if you laser your brain. So that's a part of my routine. I laser my brain. I laser my vagus nerve because that has to do with your nervous system. It relaxes your nervous system. That's a lot of biohackers do that. They stimulate their vagus nerve by electrocuting it, lasering it, whatever. And I have to do the sauna, and I stretch in there for 20 minutes to recover my cells. And then I have all these supplements I take. It's a whole routine.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I take over 3,000 milligrams of omega-3. If you have a concussion, you got to take that much to develop your brain. Reduces anger, all this stuff. Because are you taking your supplements like magnesium, vitamin D?
Yeah. Off the record,
Yeah,
or on the record, because like I don't want anyone to know, but no, I don't take anything, man. I'm like waking up, brushing my teeth, and saying, all right, this looks good enough, let's go.
Yeah, well, if you take specific nutrition, it'll change your life, because a human needs some magnesium in their body, especially like magnesium glycinate's a great one. But if you don't have magnesium, it won't activate over 300 processes in your body. It won't absorb vitamin D from the sun, and there's never sun in Seattle. So that can affect your mood and the way your body develops in your immune system. So if you take magnesium and you combine it with vitamin D, it lowers anxiety, depression. It'll develop your brain. It will basically help you recover. So that would be important for everybody in Seattle for sure. But even in California, everyone's deficient in magnesium, vitamin D.
Wow.
Yeah, because the soil doesn't have magnesium anymore because of all the pesticides and everything. Yeah, so that's going to change your life if you add that.
Okay, magnesium. All right, we'll get a magnesium sponsor for this podcast.
Yeah, I should make my own magnesium.
You should. I'll buy it. You sold me, man. So I just want to say thanks. for being on this podcast, for like everything you're doing. It's really, really impressive. I think a lot of chiropractors could learn a lot of great things from following you on social media. Drop your social media tags one more time for us.
Okay, my Instagram is Dr. Donovan Smolich, and my TikTok, my YouTube is Dr. Donovan. So follow me, check out my videos.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much, Dr. Donovan. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.